Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. Tonight's presentation is about to begin. "142 years ago, in a small town in Kentucky, a race was run that would become one of the most prestigious events in the sporting world. It would earn the name the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. The Kentucky Derby would go on to become the jewel in the Triple Crown and the benchmark for excellence. It's that same winning attitude that brings all of you here tonight. An attitude of contribution toward a common goal of making Pleasanton one of the best places to live, to work, and to play. The City Council relies heavily on the people you see around you. Concerned citizens that take a deep interest in topics that affect our quality of life, our recreation, and our general well-being. These people come together for the betterment of the community and to give selflessly their time and attention to issues that concern all of us. So let's take a brief look at what your commissions, committees, and task forces do and some of the wonderful things they've accomplished over the last year. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 46th Annual Mayor's Awards celebration. Keeping business and industry on the cutting edge of the economic marketplace and making sure they're informed on topics of today are only a few of the Economic Vitality Committee's focuses. This year, the committee focused on initiatives to support and grow our local business community by implementing strategies identified in the city's Economic Development Strategic Plan. Promoting Pleasanton as an excellent location for business, planning for infrastructure to sustain our competitive environment, and preparing for how businesses will connect and retain the workforce of today are just a few of the goals of the EVC. One of the specific efforts the committee made this year was to host the Broker Breakfast, an event intended to update our important partners on recent development projects, help place businesses in commercial spaces, and to share the positive attributes of Pleasanton as a place for business. A key element of the strategic plan is a collaboration with the organizations that are helping to cultivate and highlight innovative businesses in our city. The Game Changers Award celebrates Pleasanton companies for their pioneering advances in health and technology sectors. The Next Tech Speaker Series, which heightens the Tri-Valley's profile as a center of innovation, and the Chamber of Commerce's Beyond the Cloud event, which Pleasanton-based rising stars are celebrated. Water is one of the single most important resources we have, and how we use it will determine how successful we are as a community. The Energy and the Environment Committee was instrumental in helping coordinate the public outreach of the city's Automated Metering Infrastructure Project, or AMI. The system will not only give the users almost real-time information on their water consumption, but will also allow total customization of how the user interacts with the online web portal. Everything from trending usage during the year to alerts for sprinkler valves that might be stuck on. The total project included changing out more than 22,000 water meters and provides 100% accurate meter information to the user in almost real time. Another one of the tasks that the Energy and the Environment Committee took on was looking at PACE, the Property Assessed Clean Energy Program. This exciting opportunity will allow homeowners and businesses to invest in clean and renewable energy, water conservation improvements, and energy-efficient projects through a PACE loan provider. The loan is repaid through a voluntary property tax assessment, allowing everyone to have access to energy-efficient upgrades. The look and feel of our city's homes and businesses are the primary responsibility of the Planning Commission. They recently completed their review and recommendations of the Irby Ranch Sunflower Hill project, which will bring 87 single-family homes and a 30-unit affordable residential community for individuals with special needs. The approval of this project is the first step in fulfilling the City Council's priority of helping Sunflower Hill build this special needs community in Pleasanton. Among the duties of the Commission are amending the city's municipal codes to reflect the changing workforce and its needs. The Commission recently amended the code to comply with state legislation for accessory structures, or second dwelling units, which makes the rules governing those units' construction more transparent and will protect the character of our single-family residential neighborhoods while offering a much-needed workforce housing option. Whenever a change to our historic downtown is considered, a careful and thoughtful review of the project is needed. The Planning Commission reviewed and recommended for approval a project that would rezone 3 parcels and allow 10 townhomes to be built on St. John Street while preserving a historic single-family residence for generations to come. The quality of life in our city is directly related to the housing that's available to our residents. The Housing Commission has the task of initiating and pursuing affordable housing projects and programs that promote a broad range of housing opportunities in Pleasanton. One of the tasks this year was to approve the affordable housing agreement with the Irby Ranch Sunflower Hill development. The outcome of this agreement will not only provide wonderful housing for our special needs community, but the agreement also includes a substantial contribution toward the city's lower income housing fund to be used for future lower income projects. In October, the Commission approved the affordable housing agreement with Ponderosa Homes for the Village at Valley Trails. This new project will bring 36 new single-family homes to the area, and it will substantially contribute toward lower-income housing funds. In addition to reviewing projects, the Commission also approves the Human Services Grant Program applicants to be funded with federal home funds and the city's lower-income housing fund. Among these were Abode Services, ending homelessness by putting housing first, Rapid Rehousing Program, an intervention designed to help individuals and families quickly exit homelessness and return to permanent housing, Hope Outreach. Hope engages homeless people through street outreach and through the Hope Project Mobile Health Clinic, and Echo Housing, the Eden Council for Hope and Opportunity. Making sure those that want to participate in city programming and identifying possible barriers to participation is one of the goals of the Human Services Commission. This year, the HSC reviewed 30 grant applications that will provide vital health and social services to our community. The Commission recommended the City Council approve grant applications for a total of more than $200,000. For the last 20 years, the Human Services Commission has had oversight on the city's Fee Assistance Program. The program provides eligible residents financial assistance to help offset the costs of participating in city programs. This past year, the HSC helped more than 80 residents attend recreational programs and services. As part of the Human Services Needs Assessment Strategic Plan, the HSC began an outreach program to help identify gaps in core safety net human services in the Tri-Valley, and a plan for future community roundtable discussions on where the city can better provide grant funding. You know you've created something truly wonderful when all the heavy earth-moving equipment is gone, the extensive construction is over, and you suddenly see a beautiful park that was once just an idea. The Burnell Community Park Phase 2 was dedicated in October, and since then has seen non-stop action on its 3 lighted synthetic turf fields and its expansive oak woodland area. The park began as a 510-acre parcel purchased and given to the city by Greenbrier Homes from the city of San Francisco, with 300 of its 510 acres reserved for recreational programming space. In 2006, the community voted to develop 300 acres in 4 phases to provide groupings of sports fields and other amenities in a forested framework of open space. Phase 2 of the park encompasses the development of 15 acres of some of the nicest synthetic sports fields in the Bay Area. This phase also included picnic areas, public restrooms, a field supply storage building, and a generous amount of parking. In 2014, the local youth sports organizations partnered with the City of Pleasanton to raise $2 million to accelerate the development of the sports complex as part of the Bernal Community Park Phase 2. The Play Bernal fundraising campaign was a consortium of over 8,000 youth sports participants and more than 3,000 families, with a goal of offsetting the $2 million obligation of helping expand the Bernal Community Park. As part of the Play Bernal fundraising campaign, naming opportunities were also available through sponsorship. The sports complex is now the Patelco Sports Complex. The stadium field was named the Stanford Children's Health Field, and the West Field was named the Construction Testing Services Incorporated Field. After a decade of planning, the Alviso Adobe Community Park opened to the public in October of 2008. In the first 5 years of operation, the park hosted numerous historical, cultural, and environmental educational programs, school tours, and special events. During its operation, the city received feedback that the site was underutilized and would need further improvements and resources if it were to reach its full potential. To address this issue, in 2013, the City Council approved the development of the Alviso Adobe Community Park Strategic Plan. The plan would outline tasks, strategies, and resources needed to bring the Alviso Adobe Community Park up to its full potential. In 2015, the City Council approved the strategic plan with the understanding that an implementation plan would need to be developed and brought forward. So in 2017, the Parks and Recreation Commission reviewed and approved the completed implementation plan, and it will now serve as the roadmap for the work that will follow. Dogs are a part of our family, and they need a place to play just as much as we do. So in 2014, the Parks and Recreation Master Plan identified a need for a new dog park in Pleasanton. Several public meetings were held to gather information on what the needs are in the community and where a suitable location might be found in the city. After much discussion, the park would be located next to the Marilyn Murphy Kane Trail in an easily accessed and centrally located part of town. The new park offers 1.5 acres of fenced, off-leash space, divided up into an area for small dogs and one area for all dogs. The park includes shade structures, drinking fountains for our four-legged friends, and a doggy agility course. The park gets its name from the Name the Park contest held by the city. Over 300 entries were received, and after an exhaustive screening and vetting procedure, the name Cubby's Dog Park at Bernal was chosen. Cubby was the first canine officer serving the Pleasanton Police Department. The new park was opened in November of 2016 and is now considered to be among the top dog parks in the country. They say public art says a lot about the community. Well, if that's the case, we are a wonderfully diverse and colorful community surrounded by interesting and aesthetically pleasing works of art. The Civic Arts Commission is primarily responsible for guiding the city's art in public places and future acquisitions. One of the newest pieces to join the collection of art in public places is Arc Suspension, a beautiful stainless steel sculpture by John Seaman that was placed at the Cultural Arts Building on Black Avenue. The acquisition was made possible by a partnership between the Pleasanton Arts Council, Gary and Nancy Harrington, and James and Sandra Jellison. Another wonderful piece of art was placed at Cubby's Dog Park entitled American Dog. This whimsical steel sculpture was donated by the Harringtons and greets all of its furry friends at the entrance to the park. The final piece of art the Commission accepted this year was Self-Portrait by celebrated artist Guillermo Granizo Wagner. This one-of-a-kind donation was made by the Granizo Wagner family in celebration of their father's love of this community. His final commission was Pleasanton Centennial, located in Civic Park. These wonderfully colorful depictions of Pleasanton through the first 100 years have graced our Main Street entrance since 1994 and were recently featured on the national television show My Strange Inheritance. The Granizo Wagner family is still active in the community their father grew to love so much. Along with selecting this year's new Teen Poet Laureates, the Civic Arts Commission has been busy preparing its new signature art event entitled Ignite Art Plus Innovation. Join the community next Saturday night for an evening filled with digital art, music, demonstrations, and multiple food options to ignite your appetite. The event is centered around the Firehouse Arts Center and will be an evening to remember. One of the highest profile projects for the Civic Arts Commission this year was their work with the veterans on the Veterans Memorial at Pioneer Cemetery. The Public Arts Subcommittee, the Civic Arts Commission, and the Parks and Recreation Commission all worked with the veterans to finalize the design and choose the location on the site. The veterans took on the difficult task of raising the $300,000 needed to construct the memorial, and work began in July of last year. The memorial was completed and dedicated on November 12th of this year. There is no greater calling than to honor those that helped keep our country safe and free. The veterans that served and are now interred in the Pioneer Cemetery have the highest honors the community can bestow upon them: a permanent memorial reminding all of us of the contributions of military service. One of the committees that's on the move the most is the Bicycle Pedestrian Trails Committee. The committee was the principal steering committee for the recently approved Pedestrian and Bicycle Master Plan. The BPTC was also involved in the design of a rather unique intersection in Pleasanton. The Stanley Boulevard and Valley Avenue intersection is now nearing completion and has the distinction of being the first protected intersection in Pleasanton. The committee was also instrumental in defining the type of pedestrian and bicycle improvements, including protected and buffered bike lanes, to be incorporated into this intersection. The city's newest bike rack in our downtown area is a direct result of the Bicycle, Pedestrian, and Trails Committee's input on the project. They provided valuable feedback on the type and style of rack that would eventually be placed on West Angela. The future of our community lies in the hands of our youth, so it's no wonder why they partnered with the Pleasanton Public Library to host Earth Day. This wonderful outreach program brought together vendors from all over the valley to help educate the community on green initiatives and products available to them and how they could take advantage of doing things the earth-friendly way. This year, the Youth Commission again partnered with the Pleasanton Unified School District to support Unity Day, a day that communities come together against bullying. The Commission asked that all students and city employees wear orange on Unity Day to signify their united stance against bullying and to show that they were committed to bringing awareness of this serious issue to the community. The Community Education series of workshops is aimed at giving youth and parents information on high-interest topics that affect their everyday life. These educational programs are in partnership with the Pleasanton Unified School District and the Pleasanton PTA Council. These well-attended events support positive family communication and foster strong intergenerational relationships within families and the community. One of the most visited buildings in the city is the library. Over 500,000 people take advantage of our great facility each year, so it's no wonder that the Library Commission has been working with the staff on a library strategic plan. The Commission was crucial in helping develop and implement the mission, vision, and values component of the library strategic plan. One of the components of the plan is the new design of the library card to reflect the library's new mission. Start your journey here, discover, connect, and share. The winning design was presented to the City Council on August 15th of this year. Along with helping with the new vision for the Library Commission focused heavily on public outreach. They adopted a new outreach plan, and they took action by sharing library services and program information at public events like First Wednesdays. In February 2015, the City Council authorized the formation of the Civic Center Library Master Plan Task Force, with a goal of exploring options and making recommendations that would help create the Civic Center Library Master Plan. A plan that will guide the creation of a new, all-inclusive Civic Center and combine all the government services of the city into one new campus-like setting. Over the last year, the task force has selected the preferred location in the Bernal Community Park, and they've had professional guidance from industry leaders on future-proofing facilities and making sure they will meet the needs of not only today, but the needs long into the future. The City Council accepted the draft master plan on November 15, 2016. The next steps involve more community meetings in the upcoming year, and once the downtown specific plan is complete, the city will consider phased financing options for the complex, as well as determining when the matter will be considered for a public vote. Keeping our downtown the place you want to be is the primary focus of the Downtown Specific Plan Task Force. They've been busy studying what makes other downtowns successful and asking the public to get involved with helping shape the future direction of our most treasured asset. Getting feedback from the community is paramount to the success of the task force, since the plan is ultimately the community's plan, the community's values, and the community's aspirations for the future of the downtown area. The task force has been planning outreach events from small pop-up meetings at the farmers market to large formal group meetings in public facilities. Social networks also play a role in getting information to the task force, along with a website dedicated to the project. The task force will soon be evaluating options for possible changes that reflect current community values, including what type of uses and buildings could go on the existing Civic Center site if and when the city offices move to the Burnell property. Once a year, the dedicated and devoted members of these great commissions, committees, and task forces assemble to be recognized for their outstanding contributions. The work you do is invaluable to our community, our way of life, and our future. Without all of you, Pleasanton wouldn't be what it is today or what it will be tomorrow, one of the greatest cities to call home. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations on a job well done. It's with great pride that I would like to introduce your Master of Ceremonies for the evening and the Mayor of the City of Pleasanton, the Honorable Jerry Thorne.